So I had someone say to me the other day, I put a post out about no one makes you do anything. No one makes you upset. No one makes you mad. You choose to allow them to have that effect on you. Everything is a choice, that choice to let our emotions take over, or are we in control of them? And so it was funny because I put that post out and this person was like, nope, this is complete BS. I did ask them why they said that. They have not responded yet, which is interesting in itself. But I just wanted to make a quick video about this because this is emotional intelligence, being in control of your emotions. This is where a lot of us, I find, even though we're adults, we're fully grown, most people have not grown their emotions with the rest of their physical being. So we basically have giant children walking around. And I know you guys see this because I've talked with oodles of my massage clients about this, how we recognize that the majority of women are basically still teenagers in high school, gossiping and doing all this backstabby and all this really immature behavior because they haven't emotionally grown yet. They're still stuck in that body. And especially in today's world, where we see all these videos and YouTubing and people literally screaming into the camera and throwing tantrums and having these literal meltdowns, they are behaving like children. They have no regulation over their emotions. They have no control. Their emotions are running away with them just like toddlers. So physically, they're adults, but emotionally, they're basically giant toddlers. And so I really want to talk about this today because this is a big thing, especially for my generation. You know, if you're raised in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, we did not talk about our emotions ever. It was, suck it up. Why are you crying? Are you bleeding? Walk it off. And we did not talk about anything. So there was no emotional growth. And even just this morning, we're listening to Let Them by Mel Robbins, which is a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. I will talk more about it later in another video. But my boyfriend and I were talking and we're listening to the book. And I think back when we first got together, how emotionally unintelligent I was. I used to give him the silent treatment. I used to completely shut down. I would throw these emotional tantrums. Like if something interrupted my schedule, I would huck a fit. So I can't say for certain, because obviously I was the person doing the tantrums and stuff. But looking back, I would have to put myself around a 5 or 6 year old for emotions. Like as a grown adult, behaving like a 5 or 6 year old emotionally, like that's pretty terrible. So I also wanted to say that because I'm coming to you from a place where that was me. I gave the silent treatment. I did the ranty text message to friends. How dare you? Blah, 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 whatever. And yeah, basically did not know how to control my own emotions. And this is very interesting. And again, this is one of those, you have to be ready for growth. You have to be ready to learn. So for that person who's like, this is bull crap. Okay, clearly they're not in the space to learn. They're not ready for this growth, which is fine. So if you're watching this video and you're like, you are full of crap, people make you angry all the time, that's fine. Maybe just carry on to the next video. You're not in a space to hear this, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything is a non-judgment space. But if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I actually do give the silent treatment and I hate it. I don't know why I do that. This is because you just need to grow your emotions, your intelligence, your regulation around them. You just need to be able to control them better. That's as simple as that is. And it's just, again, I've talked a lot about, if you see my other videos, deep breath, taking that step back, taking the moment. Do I allow that emotional reaction, or do I actually want to have a more calculated response that makes me, feel good about that response? The emotional lash out that we feel about badly about later, that's what we want to get away from. Whereas we can take the breath. Okay, how do I want to respond? As a grown adult, the image of myself is like this. How do I want to project myself? How do I want to respond? That's where taking the control of the emotions comes in, and we're gaining our emotional intelligence, our regulation, where we can actually not throw tantrums and not have these outbursts, and really become true, actual adults that can have conversations. So again, this is where understanding that we are responsible for ourselves. We cannot control anybody else. The only thing we can control is ourselves and how we react, period. So it's just about owning your life, owning your actions, owning where you are, taking responsibility for you. And keep it, again, non-judgment wherever you're at. Like if you're in that place right now, maybe right now you're not talking to someone, you're giving someone the silent treatment. That's okay. You're doing the best you can with what you know and have. But then if this gets you thinking like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't actually enjoy this. I don't know why I keep doing this. All right, this is step one. You take that, well, what's actually bothering you? How do we fix this? The problem is I'm having this emotional reaction to someone. I don't like it. They don't like it. I don't know how to fix it. All right, step one. Again, we've taken that awareness, understanding that you chose to have that reaction. You chose to let your emotions take control. Well, the quick fix to almost every situation like that, conversation. It's like, again, when we're teaching little kids and they're hucking a fit and stomping their feet, and we say, use your words. That's as simple as this is. Use your words. Go to that person, talk it out. And it's really uncomfortable, especially, again, if you grew up not talking about emotions, talking about them is really uncomfortable. That's why we choose to, again, we run away from the situation. We shut down. We have this anger outburst to avoid being uncomfortable. So it's kind of like you just got to pull on your adult pants, suck it up, go to that person, be like, listen, I don't know how to do this, but here's my olive branch. I'm trying. Great. That is a huge first step. Getting into that uncomfortableness of like, I'm going to change. I'm going to actually try and control my emotions and get out of this cycle, this horrible cycle of letting my emotions run my life. That is the best first step ever. I will tell you 100% that the more you can actually have these conversations, talk about what you're feeling, and kind of put yourself out there, the easier it will become. It does definitely get easier. Like anything else you practice, it does get easier. But you just have to be willing to just take that step. Now, if that's like definitely your no-go zone for now, you're like, whoa, that's way too uncomfortable, then the next best step is just next time, understand your triggers, your patterns. And the next time you get that anger and you're just like, oh my God, okay, I'm just going to go silent, take that breath, recognize what you're about to do, and stop that in the tracks. Take the breath, calm down, and actually articulate, again, use your words, articulate what you're feeling. So for example, I think back to the arguments my boyfriend and I had. And again, when I was working on my emotions, phasing out that, silent treatment response, it was literally, I would feel myself get to the point and I would be like, okay, this is normally where I just like yell at him, I shut down, I walk away, and I don't talk to him for a few days. And I would like feel the seething, and I would take a breath, and then I would say, okay, this is what I'm hearing from you. Is this what you mean? Because that makes me really upset. And he would respond, and this is the fun part. Pretty much like 99% of the time he would respond, it was a miscommunication. He would say, no, that's not what I mean. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying X, Y, Z. And oh, okay. And immediately my anger would come down, or he'd be like, yes, but, and he would explain it further to the point, again, my anger was uncalled for. I just didn't understand what he was trying to say to me. Whether I had been jumping to conclusions or just, again, not hearing the whole story, not having all the facts, whatever it might be, almost every single time, it was just because I wasn't understanding what he was trying to say. And boom, all of a sudden we're talking, we're communicating, we figure it out. I'm not mad anymore. The whole situation is averted. And again, very simple. Just use your words, get clarity on it, whatever that person is doing or saying. Did you know your actions are making me, it makes you, well, okay, I need an actual example here, I guess. Let's say leaving your dirty dishes on the table. Okay, are you going to clear those plates? Because by you just leaving your dirty dishes on the table, you are making me feel like I have to pick up after you like your mother. And I really don't like feeling like that. And you get it out there. Now, this person might get upset at you. This person might huff and they might be like, oh, whatever, like, oh, or they might be like, oh, crap, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Yeah, no, let me clear those. But either which way, that is, you're putting the ball in the court. And usually the person is going to be like, oh, yeah, so sorry. And they'll go put them on the counter. But here is to remember, if they get upset at that or they make a snarky comment, that's on them. Because you will notice, instead of seething in anger, being upset, picking up those dishes, being mad at them, and especially if they didn't mean to, or they were going to clear them later, they just didn't get around to it, whatever it might be, you're creating a situation that doesn't have to be there, right? So by saying like, hey, do you mind putting your dirty dishes in the kitchen? That'd be fantastic. I'd like to wipe the table or whatever it might be. You don't have all that anger. You're keeping your emotions in check. You're just verbalizing what your, the thoughts you're having, your feelings, and problem is solved. I would like to mention, always keep in mind that other people, we are surrounded, the majority of people do not have control over their emotions. So just understand that a lot of people will have childlike responses, whether it's a lash out or the tantrum or whatever, but that has nothing to do with you. It's on them. That's a them problem. And you just need to not allow yourself to be sucked into that behavior. That's the old, not in control of your emotions. You want to make sure to stick with the being in control, taking those breaths, and as they say, being the bigger person. Right. So I hope I'm articulating this properly. Definitely let me know, leave me some comments. Again, if you've watched this whole video and you're like, you're full of crap, let's talk about it. Let's book just a nice little coffee chat and talk about why you think that. I would love to hear your points of view, especially since I've kind of been there, done that. Now I don't. I would love to hear your take on it. Maybe I can convert you and convince you otherwise. Who knows? But yeah, definitely leave me some comments. I love it. And FYI, the comments, hitting the like button, these all push me out into the algorithm. They get this video so more people can see it. So especially, guys, if this gave you some food for thought, even like a little like, okay, definitely hit that like button. I would love for you to subscribe, but definitely hit the like button because other people need to hear it as well. If it got you thinking, it's going to get other people thinking. So definitely hit that like button. And yeah, definitely leave me comments. I love talking about this stuff. I love discussing. I love using my words. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.